Harry Redknapp, Cheltenham winner, English football icon and one of the South Coast's favourite residents. Today we're in town to catch up with the man himself and, more importantly, his dog Barney. Harry, first things first, thank you so much for having us. You're a very personable person. I mean, you're extremely welcoming to us this morning and sat with the dog and with Barney and he's stealing everyone's cups of teas.
Yeah.
What do you put that innate ability down to? Was it just something you always had, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I was always, I grew up loving the game. And my dad was football crazy. My dad was a good player. He was a prisoner of war, came back from the war, but he was a good non-league player, but he really could play. And we were just a football mad, sport mad. My dad he'd be over the park, he'd ring me up. Harry, I've just seen a player over here playing for, East London schools, and he'd watch every game. And, he'd rung me the night when Rio Ferdinand, I was managing the West Ham, and my dad rings me. He'd been to Chelsea to watch Chelsea youth team play West Ham youth team in the final of the Southern Junior Floodlight Cup, I think it was. We played at Newcastle or somewhere. He said, I've just seen the best player I've seen in years, Harry. He said, at your club tonight. We won that night. And I said, who was that? And I named a few kids. He went, no. He said, a kid called Ferdinand. I said, Ferdinand? I said, he's still a schoolboy. I said, no, he wouldn't have played that. He said, yeah, he did. Rio Ferdinand. So he played in midfield. So he kept running with the ball 40, 50 yards, gliding past people. Really? He said, what a player. I hadn't seen him at that time. He was a schoolboy that a local scout in South London had recommended to us. Came into football late, turned up for a town trial. Had nobody, and Millwall came in at the last minute, and it was West Ham or Millwall. Normally you'd have Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, everybody in the country chasing kids. And there was this kid about to leave school, and suddenly, with no club really, he'd just come along late. And really, anyway, 10 minutes later, the youth team coach, Tony Carr, rings me to tell me we won the cup. I said, did Rio Ferdinand play, Tone? He said, oh, Harry, how good was he? He said, I said, well, my dad rang me and told me. He said, he was fantastic. And we knew then we had a player,
Who was the best out of that group for you?
Oh, my God. The best schoolboy player I'd ever seen was Joe Cole. I'd never seen a kid play like Joe. 11, Joe was the best player I've ever seen. First day he turned up at our training ground. I didn't know him. And we were playing Norwich. And one or two people had mentioned him to me and, whatever. And I stood there, and I stood with some of the old West Ham players back in the day. Peter Braybrook, who was a great player, Alan Seeley, they're not with us anymore. Frank Lampard Senior was there with me. And we're watching this game, and after about 15 minutes, you went, oh my God, who is this kid? It was ankle deep mud. He's doing things I'd never seen. He was beating 3-4 players, and he was playing way out of his age group. He was way under the age group, and we knew then, and then it was hanging on to him.
Was he still slight in frame?
Yeah,
as well?
Yeah, he just had this ability to beat people and do things, and I used to go every Sunday morning and watch him play. Under 12s, under 13s, under 14s. We'd be playing Arsenal. If Joe played, we'd win. He'd score a couple of goals and he'd murder everybody, He was just an amazing talent, and then it was hanging on to him was the problem, because Man United, Alex actually I think took him on the coach with him to Wembley for a cup final, sent him a shirt, number 10, Cole on the back, and took him up there in the school holidays. And even though he'd signed schoolboy forms for us, they still was, I could have reported other clubs really for illegal approaches, but I didn't. I knew that his dad was a lovely guy. George Cole, not George Cole out of Minder, remember Minder? George was a great guy, and came from, you didn't mess about with George. He was quite a strong, tough character. Came out of sort of North London way there, and but so we just let him go. I'd let him go up. He said, Harry's going up to Manchester United for a week, I could have said, no, he can't. He's not allowed to, But yeah, okay, George, no problem. We want him here. No, he loves it here. He'll be back. Don't worry. He just wants to have a look round. And off he'd go. We'd let him go. didn't make a fuss about it, didn't make, you know, but he came back and he stayed with us, and eventually, obviously, when he left school, he signed. And he was and a great lad as well, Joe, loved him. And all that little group, Michael Carrick, we got from the Northeast, you know, Geordie boy, outgrew his strength, but what a passer of the ball, and loaned him out to Swindon Town when he was a kid. And, you know, just a special talent. Jermaine Defoe was a schoolboy, scoring goals every week, just a goal scoring machine. What a footballer, you know. That whole group. Frank was the best trainer I've ever seen. Frank, never seen anyone train like Frank Lampard. Wanted to be a player so much. Train, he'd be out on the training pitch 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is what's changed now. Now they tell me, the kids now, they can only do so much, and you're not allowed to do any extra. You're only allowed to do such. Frank would be out there at 4 o'clock in the middle of winter, getting dark, raining, snowing, I don't care how the weather was. He'd have a bag of a few balls, couple of cones, up on his own, up to the cone, bang, shooting right foot. Go and collect the balls, come back at the end, doing his sprints, doing some laps, running, practicing, shooting, in and out, dribbling every day. Never a day went past where he wasn't out there until it was dark. And he became a player. Now they tell me, the kids now, you're not allowed to do any more, you're only allowed to train so much. It's, you know, they should be out there as much as. And Ron Greenwood, when I grew up at West Ham, played in a very successful youth team where 10 of us came out that youth team, came on to play in the first team at West Ham. And he used to say, if you want to stay here, I remember one of the coaches one day, you know, saying, come on lads, it's up past 4, come on, back time. And Ron Greenwood said, listen, if you want to stay out there till 10 o'clock at night and you're playing with the ball and doing something worthwhile, I'll make sure someone's here to keep the gates open, the place open. You know, and that's how it should be. If you want to go out and do extra, what is better than seeing a kid who wants to go out and improve himself and work? But unfortunately, they tell me, I don't know now, the new FA rules, they spend more time, these coaches, having to fill in paperwork now and assessments and this and that than what they do actually coaching the players. It's become a game of act for academics more than football people.
Well, your senior team wasn't half bad either. What happens when you get Stuart Pearce and Paolo Di Canio in the same dressing room? Fireworks?
Well, I mean, they were great, yeah. Stuart loved Paolo, you know, and Paolo was a genius, and what a footballer. I actually went to meet him last week. He was speaking down here in Bournemouth, and I turned up as a surprise. Someone asked me if I could pop in, and I was actually going on my way to Swansea to manage the worst team in Great Britain, Cum Albion. And I had to drive up that night because I had to be on the day when we started filming next morning at 8 o'clock in Swansea. But I popped up and went along and surprised Paolo, and it was so lovely to see him. You know, we had a great 10 minutes together. But he was a character. He was a one-off, you know. But he had ability, like, to do things. You know, every coach in the country, they should show kids, or even their first team players, when he goes through on goal one-on-one, or him or Jimmy Greaves going back, how they used to deal. They'd go to shoot. We see so many times now, I see people going through from an angle and the keeper spreads himself and they hit the keeper, or the keeper. And I think, what would Paolo have done there? What would Jimmy have done there? He'd have gone up, gone to shoot, dropped his shoulder, changed the angle and rolled it in the empty goal, you know, or walked round the keeper. You don't see that. And that is coaching. Go and show people that, hey, look at this. You know, when you get in this situation, go and work, show your strikers, cut some videos up and show them that type of stuff. Show the kids that. And do you know, even with getting back to youth coaching is all about getting to them kids, get to know them kids, talk to them kids that you coach. You don't just go and group them all together, all right, off you go, you're all finished. Get into their heads. What makes them kids tick? You know, how are you? Take an interest, a personal interest in every one of them. How are things? How's your digs? Things okay at home? I'm going to do a little bit extra with you today. I used to say to Steven Gerrard, Stevie, when he was at Liverpool doing the under-18s, in the morning after training, pull the kids to one side, you know, each day have a 10-minute or so with 2 or 3 different kids, every day different kids, hey, I'm going to do a little bit extra with you today on your left, crossing balls, or your passing or receiving balls on the half turn. I'm going to do a little bit of work with you today. Them kids will feel 10 foot tall. They're going to ring up their parents and hey, Stevie had a word with me today. He's going to do it. He's done a bit extra with me today, and he said I'm doing well. And that's what it's about. Kids need someone to believe in them. They need someone to love them and to believe that they've got ability to succeed and be a footballer. There's a man on that wall there, a picture there, Bobby Moore. It's my favourite picture, him and Pele, two incredible, the greatest players in football, the mutual respect they have for each other when they're swapping shirts in the 1970 World Cup. But Bobby swore he'd never been a player, would have been a player if it hadn't been for Malcolm Allison. Malcolm Allison was the governor at West Ham back in them days. He played, he was the captain. He finished his career with bad illness, but he loved Bobby and he took interest in Bobby Moore. And he used to talk to Bobby about his game. And Bobby was a kid who, when he left school, I think there was 8 places up on the ground staff or apprenticeship, as it was then, ground staff. And 7 were picked, and Bobby, it was between Bobby and another lad. And Malcolm said to the coaching staff, no, you're taking Bobby, he'll be a player. And he believed in him, and that Bobby said, without Malcolm, I'd never been a player. He used to talk to Bobby about his game, get it off the keeper, play it out to the left back, drop off, make an angle, drop it into the centre forward's chest. And that's what he did all his career, into Hursty's chest. And he talked to him and believed in him, and he said, he used to make me feel 10 foot tall, Malcolm, when really I was struggling, as a kid. And that's important, take an interest in these kids, because there's such a wastage of talent. Who knows what them kids have got in there, what's going on in their lives. Make them feel important, make them feel good, get the best out of them, encourage them, You get more out of people by telling them how good they are than keep telling them what they can't do. And it's important. Youth team coaches play such an important role in, them kids go home, they dream of being a footballer all their life from the age of 7, 8, 9. You've got to help them. You've got to try to make them realise that dream. That is your job as a youth coach, getting the best out of them kids, working with them, talking to them individually, getting into their heads, making them feel they can be a player. And there's not enough of that.
Portsmouth, some of your feelings to that place for me?
Oh, I love my time at Portsmouth. Oh, my God. I had an amazing time. When I went there, I'll be honest, it wasn't a job. I left West Ham and Milan offered me, the chairman, Milan Mandrick, offered me the job there as director of football. It wasn't easy. I wasn't a director of football. I'm not an office person. I'm not a, really, I want to be out on the training pitch. That was what I enjoyed doing. But it wasn't, I didn't see Portsmouth as a club that I ever wanted to manage. I'll be truthful, They were a struggling club, been struggling year after year. The facilities, we had no training ground at all, nowhere to train. And eventually Milan was going to pack up the end of that season unless I took the job. We had a great relationship, and I took it the following, and suddenly now took the team that had finished, bottom 6, bottom 7 the year before in the championship. And I thought, well, I'm going to struggle here, but I'll give it a go, And the first thing I did in the summer was drive all round every day trying to find somewhere to train, because we were reporting back for training. We never had anywhere. Nowhere at all. And I drive out suddenly, it came to me from somewhere. I thought, what about Southampton's old training ground? I knew they had a new training ground. They used to train at, it belonged to the university, near this Southampton airport. I thought, I'm going to have a ride over there. So I drove over there. I find the groundsman. He wasn't too keen on, no, he said, they'll let you have it. I said, who trains it? Anyone use it? He said, no, but we have the university use it. They play cricket on. Anyway, I get a meeting with the man who runs the university, and they're struggling for money. So we end up doing a deal with them to let us come and use it. But there was a cricket pitch in the middle, cricket square. We weren't allowed anywhere near the cricket square. They play hockey on Wednesday morning, so you've got to be out off the building, off the premises by 11 o'clock. That is the rules. Not in the chain, out, gone. No one of your group here at all after 11 o'clock, okay? So we didn't have a pitch, but what we did, we had little areas around the cricket square. We had a 60-yard area over there and an 80-yard area over the other side where we could do some work and put some portable goals and do a bit of, we could do some forwards against defence or a bit of shape or, on a smaller pitch, 9-a-side game. We could And that was how it was. And then on Wednesday, in early, train early, do an hour and a half, whatever, up past 10, change, bomb out the building. It was unreal, and that's how it was. And then that used to flood, so we had the drainage done eventually. But when the drainage was being done, we had to train across the road where they played Sunday morning football. They were park pitches, so we had to walk over there in the mornings, get our gear on, walk, I don't know, 400 yards over to where they were bare. The pitches were worn out. Sunday morning pitches, Saturday, Sunday, you know, pick up the dog's mess, go and train there. You got people that like Teddy Sheringham, Patrick Berger, just all got on with it. No one complained. Sol Campbell came, you know, just got on with it. All these people, incredible players, but nobody. We had such a spirit that everyone just no one moaned. We just accepted it. We had no showers. The showers were broke, so we had freezing cold water. And so I used to go across a little pub across the road, where the landlady over there used to let the boys go over, and they'd have their lunch there as well. They'd buy their lunches. They could have ham, egg and chips or whatever they was having. In the meantime, she had a place where she had a few showers, and they'd take turn and go and have a shower, and then go and have a bit of lunch over in the pub, little hotel type pub place across the road. But they got on with it, and it was amazing.
I know you would obviously leave the football club, go to Southampton, come back to Portsmouth. Does everything that you've just talked about there make that FA Cup win even more special from taking them almost from the ground up almost? Oh,
it was incredible. I mean, that first year getting promotion, I mean, we were 33-1 outsiders at the start of the year. And I'll be honest, I thought we've been in the bottom six, I think, the previous 4 or 5 years. And a mate of mine actually rang me up and he said, Harry, I'm going to have £1,000 each way on your team at 33-1. And I said to him, Alan, you're joking. I said, we haven't got a chance. I said, I'll be truthful, Al. You know, as long as we get out the bottom, I said, if we can finish halfway, it'll be a miracle. Oh, he said, I thought you might turn them round a bit. I said, no, Alan, not a chance, mate, you know. Anyway, we won the league, didn't we? He never spoke to me again. cost him £33,000. But so I signed Paul Merson 3 days before the season started. Everything changed. Merce came in, and he was really he gave everybody a lift. The players got a lift. We won our first game, not Forest at home. I signed Eddie Howe, Richard Hughes from Bournemouth. I think I gave, I don't know, about £70,000 for the pair or something, £30,000 each. I don't know who was the more expensive out of the two of them, but they were both good players. Eddie Howe was a fantastic central defender. He was a poor man's Bobby Moore, Eddie Howe. He wasn't Bobby Moore, that's for sure. But he was as near as you would get to him, in so much he read the game. He was always in the right position. Eddie could play, intelligent footballer, you know, and he played at the back. And him and Richard came in and did great jobs for me. So I made a couple of little signings, and off we went. But Merce came in. Merce was the Harry Andersou. I took a boy called Harry Andersou from Wigan. What a man! What a centre half he was, you know. So yeah, it was a great time for me.
I think I remember reading you turned down the Newcastle job. Was there any other opportunities?
I agreed to take the Newcastle job, and on the Friday night I changed my mind. I was due. Yeah. Tottenham, I turned the Tottenham job down 18 months, 2 years before I actually went there. I met Daniel twice at his house and decided to start Portsmouth. I loved my time there, and in the end, we had a new owner come in, and Guy de Mac was a Russian owner, and it wasn't the same as it was with Milan for me, you know. And in the end, I decided that Tottenham came back again, and I decided to take the job.
You go to Spurs. You built a hell of a side, as you do. You got the band back together, as the saying goes. Nico Crouch and Jermaine.
Nico Crouch, what a footballer he was, Nico. I love Nico Crouch.
You still stay in touch with those boys?
Jermaine, I see Jermaine, all to speak to him, and Crouch, I love Crouch. What a great lad, you know. And Nick, I haven't seen Nico. I was thinking about him the other day. I'd love to see him sometime. I love seeing a boy.
When do you think of Nico Cranchio? What moment in your life do you just wake up and just think, Nico, what a guy?
Well, he just had this amazing ability. He actually scored against England at Wembley when he knocked us out with. When
Croatia.
Steve McLaren was the manager. When it rained, he put the brolly up, didn't he, that night? Not a clever thing, Steve, that one.
Didn't go down well.
No.
You talk about all these great players that you've managed, that you've had. Who stands out as one that you've missed out on? I remember, again, Eden Hazard said that he'd had a conversation with you.
Oh, I met Eden Hazard a couple of times. Joe rang me, Joe Cole. He said to me, I'm playing with the best player I've ever played with, Harry.
Because he went over to Lille, didn't he?
Yeah, and I went over to watch him. Well, I mean, he blew my brains. I just, oh my God, what a talent, you know. And I went back again, and this time I'd made a meet with him, totally illegal. I met him in a hotel room and chatted to him about coming to Tottenham at the time. But yeah, at the time, you know, it was whatever. We didn't go for him. I wanted him, but and then he ended up at Chelsea, and what a player he was.
Anyone else spring to mind that you're close to getting over the line?
Yeah, I suppose Luis Suarez I should have had at as well at Tottenham. You know, sort of missed out on him. Really could have got him, but at the time Tottenham did. You know, we didn't want to spend the money, but. So there's always players that you know you nearly get, but no, they were my type of players with ability who could do things. I mean, Eden Hazard, he was a genius, wasn't he? What a footballer!
How did you see getting the best out of Gareth Bale?
Well, Gareth was just I knew him from Southampton, and he was at Southampton as a kid when I was there. So he played in the youth team. And I knew all about him, and what a young talent he was. There's a guy called Malcolm Elias who did a great job in getting the kids in, at Southampton, and we knew that he was a special talent. Then he went to Tottenham, obviously, and I remember going to watch him play at Fulham one day for Tottenham when we were playing Fulham the week after Portsmouth, and he played left wing back that day, and I thought he was fantastic. Tottenham got beat in the end, I think, or was it a draw? I know they were 4-2 up, but it might have been. Anyway, I just thought, what a player he is, what a talent, what an athlete, can run, can shoot, can dribble, can head it. He had everything, really.
Finally, before we mention the Euros, which isn't too far away, you had a couple of interesting gigs. Jordan, national team manager, the Birmingham City gig, the QPR one.
Jordan was amazing.
How did it come about? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it, yeah. It was only a short... I met Prince Ali. He rang me up, what a lovely man, and asked me if I would take the team for 2 games. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll come over. I went with Kevin. Kevin came with me. And we had a great, it was only probably, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We played Bangladesh first game, beat them 9-0. And I thought, Harry, you're a genius. Well, I'd only had about 4 days training, but I don't think their manager was best pleased. He was talking to his committee, and I came out. I said, listen, no, don't worry about it. We just beat them 9-0. I said, you're better at cricket. I don't think he was too happy with that remark, but cricket is their game. And then we went to Australia, to Sydney, and we played the Australian national team, managed by Ange, and that's when I met him, and they beat us. They were very good. He had a good team, and he'd done a good job with them. They were well coached, good team, and but it was interesting. I met a lot of nice people as usual, and made some friends that I still keep in touch with, including Prince Ali.
Any strange moments, different moments, going over an environment like that? What stands out?
In the dressing room before the game, all in a huddle. Coach, not one of them spoke English. I mean, really, what chance you got? How do I, and we're all in a huddle. I don't know, I joined in with them, and so it was fun, it was good. And but they were all nice guys, and yeah, it was an experience. And obviously I did spell it. I was at QPR, went to QPR. We got relegated. When I first went there, halfway through the season I went there and they were struggling. And it was hard. They had a lot of players on lots of money, big wages they couldn't shift really, and there was a bad atmosphere around. Some of them were getting a fortune, and then other players who were doing well for you were lads who were getting a fifth of the wages that the other people were earning who weren't too bothered, and it was very, very difficult. There was a real two groups there almost, and we ended up going down, but the following year we came back up again, and we had a great season, went to Wembley and won the playoff final. Gary O'Neill got sent off, and Bobby Zamora scored a worldie to beat Derby with 10 men, with 5 minutes to go. So it was a great day for us to get back in the Premier League.
A few moments ago we talked about your time as a national team manager with Jordan. The Euros around the corner. A, how do you think we'll do? B, who else has got a chance?
I think we'll win it. I think we should win it with that group of players. I can't sit here and go, well, if we get to the semi-final, we've done well. I'm sorry. With that group of players, have a look at them. You've got the best right back in the world, probably in Kyle Walker, or you can play, or Trent, or Trippier, or how many, we've got players, left backs, with Luke Shaw, if he's fit, wouldn't be anyone better. Stones, Maguire are a great pairing. Then now you come to Rice, Bellingham, Foden, Saka from Arsenal. Harry Kane, the best centre forward in the world. I mean, what a group of players we've got, really. At the moment, Foden's probably the best player in the Premier League. It's just been incredible.
So the all-important
question. And the
best
player in the world may well be Bellingham at the moment.
Everyone has an opinion on. I mean, everyone's a football manager, aren't they? Only some of the few get to achieve the things that you have. The age-old question is, how do you line them up? What's your 1 to 11? Do you feel currently?
I'd play Shaw and Walker, and I'd play Stones and Maguire at the back. They've done nothing wrong there. It's a good back four. It's an experienced back four. It's difficult. Rice is, and Bellingham and Foden. You got to find a way. We've got to go for it, and you've got to play them. And Saka's got to play on the right. Harry Kane up top. There's so much talent there, young talent. It's just incredible. No one's got better players than us at the moment. You look round, who is there? Who's the danger? France. How many of their players now? Mbappe for sure. How many of them would get in our team now? Not that many. I think we've got by far and away the strongest squad.
And finally, Harry, just to touch on life for you now. We're lucky enough to spend a bit of time with you today in your home down here. Sandra, how's she doing?
Sandra's good.
Keeping you on your toes?
She's keep me on my toes. Yeah, she's my life. Yeah. So she had a good week. She didn't come to Cheltenham, but she's jumping around the living room watching it, and enjoying watching it. So, yeah, we're very quiet. People don't realise that my life is, we like to go out together. We go out last night for dinner. It's only ever the two of us, really. We're like Billy No Mates. We love each other's company.
What's the key to that? How long have you been married now?
We've been married 56 years. We've been together. We were going out together. I was 17. We weren't together. We didn't get moved to, we went out together for 4 years. I still lived in the East End of London till I was 21 in an old council estate. I look back on it. I'm playing in West Ham's first team, and I'm living in a big old council estate in the East End of London, with my mum and dad at 21. You couldn't imagine it now, could you? Playing in the first team at West Ham, And Sandra was at home. She was a hairdresser, and she had a party. I had no phone. My mum and dad. My dad worked in the docks all his life, and we didn't have a telephone. So he's got to pay to the phone box. And Sandra's phone, she had a phone. She was posh, and she was on a party line where they shared it with the neighbours across the road, so it was cheaper. So I would ring up and I could hear the neighbours talking. They're on the phone, and you could hear their conversation. I mean, it's amazing. So you had to be careful what I'd say to Sandra, because they could hear me. So, you know, I had to make sure I couldn't say anything that was near the mark.
Do you think you would have survived in modern day dating apps, social media?
We wouldn't have had dating apps. I just met her at the old dance at the Two Puddings. It was dark, lucky enough, and she couldn't see me. So we ended up pulling her that night. She didn't realise till the lights come on, she'd made a ricket.
We talk about your relationship with Sandra, your life here. I'm very, very single, Harry, believe it or not. What advice you got for me? What we're going to do to make this work?
I don't know, just meet a nice girl and, you know, take care of each other, ups and downs, and just... Yeah, well, I'd say it's a rocky road. We've not had too many rocky roads. Certainly our relationship hasn't. We've been smooth. You couldn't have a row with my missus if you tried. She's so placid. Honestly, I can get the hump quick. I can get the hump. And I'll have a blow up about something, not with her, but and she'd say, oh, look at you, calm down. What's the matter with you? All right. And I'll calm down. But I love every minute being with her.
Brilliant, Harry. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for inviting us down and having a chat with us this morning.
Today we've got Man United and Liverpool on the telly.
Even better. Get Sunday lunch on?
Today, Sandra will be... we have dinner at night, I think, when the football's finished.
Priorities?
Priorities, right. Sandra, what time's the football finishing, Harry? What time do you want dinner? That's fine.
Ideal. Great. Life works around a game.
Yeah.
How it should be. Harry, thank you so much.
Nice to see you, Jonty. Thank you.
Nice one.